Yo, what's up my mother yuckers, it's GRIFFINGFX. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a logo like Corteiz. Corteiz. I think this is a very fire effect. It involves using the blur tool and the threshold tool along with my pack. You don't need to use a pack, you can use images on Google Images, on Pinterest, whatever the hell. You find things you like to create your image, which you'll then threshold and blur. But I've also made a pack which is free and you can grab it in the description along with the oval shapes and a choice of fonts that I think work perfectly with the Corteiz logo. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I've never actually heard anyone pronouncing this brand, so forgive me if I'm absolutely donkeying that. Up on screen you can see the logo that I made for the sake of this video, and I'll be playing in this video after my brief tutorial the full process of how I created that from start to finish, so you can see the entire process in detail. I used the Kittl mockup generator to see how my design would look on hoodies and t-shirts and stuff like that in different colors. Kittl is insane for that. They do a lot of other things as well, but I often come back to using them for the sake of mockups. They map out all of their mockups and there's textures and everything kind of ready for you, making the job so much easier than doing it in something like Photoshop. I'll leave a link to Kittl in the description as well, and you'll see more of how I made the mockups in Kittl in this video right after I've done creating the design. So without any more blibber blabber, chibber chabber, grab my pack, grab the text and the image pack, and I'll show you how I begin putting together a threshold logo. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, smash the like button. Sorry I ain't been uploading much guys, I've been going hard with my music. I'm addicted to making music at the moment. It's got a little bit in the way of YouTube and graphic design and I'm very aware of that, but I can't help it. I love music, like I said, way too much, you know. Smash a like, drop a comment, and let's go. So we're going to be going from here to here, okay? You see how this is threshold, but the blur, instead of blurring it where it loses opacity, the blur basically intensifies the threshold, making it kind of more smoother, but still with that slightly distorted, grainy look. That's all done with the threshold tool applied on top of these assets. So like I said, you can find anything. You could type a fish and a rainbow and then put that into the threshold and blur it and you'll have it like that. But I've put a little thing together of like trees, rocks, pyramids, skull, earth, huts, mountains, so that you can start creating a really sick scene, rubbing bits of it out, blurring it, all with the threshold on top. But let me show you what I'm talking about. It will all make sense in a moment. So we're going to start. I'm going to make the background black. I'm going to change the background of the canvas so I can see what I'm doing. I'll make this a lot bigger, working now about 4,000 by 2,500 pixels. I'm going to start off choosing some of the assets. I think I'm going to use a city skyline, make it big, use some birds like that. I think that looks cool. And maybe this, something's going down in the city, you know, so that should probably be behind there. Now when you put a threshold tool on top, which you do by going into the adjustment section, select threshold, you want to decide how intense it's going to be. It's hard to tell how intense it should be until you start blurring it, but you can always change this as you go. So for now, around here allows me to see the details in the buildings without it being too intense. And if you go too far, kind of washes everything out. So pretty much the default right in the middle works well with these images. Now I'm going to expand my canvas a little bit. So I've got some room to play in the background, make this bigger. And now we want to begin to create a circular shape or an oval shape so that it will work with this style of logo. So I'm going to use the eraser tool with the hardness turned all the way down. I'm going to turn the opacity down to about 6%. Now when I click, it's just going to very gradually start wiping the image out, right? So in these corners, you got to imagine there's going to be an oval. It's going to be a kind of oval like that. So keeping that in mind when you're doing your erasing, when you're rubbing bits out, that's looking cool. I'm going to stretch that out. And I'm going to do the same thing around this building, just so the building doesn't get lost in the source. Quite like the idea of erasing that bit there a little bit so that it kind of sits behind that building a bit better. And then I'm going to take some of the grittiness of this and maybe use it down here in the image. Everything I don't want is now going. Oops. Get out of here. Oh, actually, happy accidents. Why does that work so well? See, man, sometimes accidents are just meant to be. And now we're going to make an oval. You can use my pack for ease of use. You can just drag it straight in, but I'll teach you, of course, how to make it. Super simple. Just use the circle tool, get it to about the right size and shape. So if you lower the opacity quickly, you can see how it should be. So about like that. And then it's going to be like that, you know, a bit bigger. Okay, and once you got that, we can turn the opacity of it back up. And we're going to fill it with the background color, and we're going to add a stroke. Stroke should be white. About like that should be absolutely calm. Now I'm going to rasterize this shape. rasterize layer style, select the inner part and just delete it. Just delete it, that's all you gotta do. Now to spice this one up a little bit, I'm gonna be teaching you how to make the Corteiz Supreme Collaboration aesthetic, which is where they've kind of ripped it a little bit and put the black over the white, add a little extra element, because you will see how to make the original one after this, because I'll be showing you a time lapse. So for the sake of this, let's just make it a little bit cooler. So I'm gonna hit this, I'm gonna put a stroke on the inside, make it black about there. I'm gonna add another stroke, make that one a little bit bigger. So I rate that, I think that's cool. Now I'm gonna do the text. So you guys saw from the pack what font I'm using. It's called Stamped. You wanna max out the text within the box that you've created it in and give it an arc by clicking up here. This is how you create warped text. Select the arc, and then the vertical distortion, you want to adjust it so it's not slanting outwardly. So once you made that horizontal again, you can then decide how much of an arc you actually want. Each time you change the bend, you'll want to adjust that again, and you want to pull it in again so that there's, you know, a little bit of distance between the very outer of the oval and the text, right? A little bit of space there. I'm going to select the entirety of this text layer by pressing Control and left clicking on the layer. I'm going to go to the layer above, select modify and expand by 2 pixels, and now I'm going to paste again. Now I'm going to fill this selection with white. So now you've got rid of all the graininess of it, and now I'm going to merge all 3 of those layers together. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to select that top layer, and now I'm going to go select, modify and contract by, let's try 3. Select the background color on a higher layer. I'm going to fill it in, and that has given us these, which is kind of like the Supreme Corteiz effect. Now the final thing to show you is the smudge tool, which you will do to the image. You see how when I smudged that, it went from this, which is lots of detail, lots of little blobs, to this. This is how you turn a kind of sharpened black and white image into the Threshold logo ready for merchandise. This is one of the most important steps. So I'm going to spend a little while smudging this out. I like to smudge it in accordance with the shape of the oval. So for example, where it's quite close to the line here, I'm going to smudge it, pull it in, and then the areas here, for example, where we have empty space, I'm going to pull it out to the right. Bear in mind, I don't want a wonky building. Get a bit more ground coming this way. You can really just paint at this point, you know. And now the final touches, I would like to make the birds a little bit more visible. So you know the meta, you use a brush on a very low opacity with the hardness all the way down, and you just start to draw in that area, and it will reveal what you can't see with the naked eye. It might add too much and it will stop looking like a bird, in which case X, back to the black, and take bits off. And there you have it, guys. It's that easy. I'm now going to show you how easy it is to mock this up inside of Kittl. Once again, links to everything from the pack and a link to Kittl in the description. If you're not interested in turning this into clothing and you just want the design for social media, I'll put a timestamp on screen now. Alright guys, so when you're in Kittl, kittl.com, in the top right corner you will see new project. If you click that, it's going to give you a nice canvas. If it's not perfectly aligned for you, you can press shift and 1 and it'll bring it right into the center for you. I'm using a 2000 by 2000 pixel canvas, and I'm going to drag and drop one of my Corteiz style logos into the canvas, and I'm going to bring it up to full scale. I forgot to remove the background, but this is not an issue. I'm going to use the AI background remover tool. If you click that, the background should literally just disappear. You can't see it because it's white on white, so if you click on the artboard in the top left corner, you can go over here where it says color, make that 0 instead of 100% and hit enter. You now got it transparent. If the background remover tool doesn't get rid of absolutely everything, you can click it again. Try and get the design to fill as much of the canvas as possible, and then up in the top right corner, you can hit the t-shirt icon and go into the mockup section. Now the sick thing with Kittl when you're making your mockups is you can print stuff in Kittl as well. So if you create something that you think looks absolutely drippington, you can go ahead and order it straight to your door or ship it straight to a customer if you're doing drop shipping or something like that. So yeah, Kittl is absolutely fucking amazing. So obviously you can try loads of different colors. Too intense of a t-shirt is obviously unrealistic and just not really possible. You know, you're gonna have to check out what colors it can come in. If you drag it down a little bit to a slightly less saturated tone, then it's gonna be extremely feasible. But for the sake of this, I'm gonna go black on white, and I'm gonna show you all the different things you can mock up, because there's an insane catalog of stuff ready for you to mock up your designs straight straight onto flat clothing and 3D objects. Like, damn, there's cans, man. There's literally cans, and everything's kind of 3D modeled and mapped properly. And this saves you so much time, because you can see, for example, there's bits of water. There's like water drops on the can where it's like supposed to be a cold can, and that's gone on top of the image. If you're doing this on Photoshop, you obviously could do that, but it would take multiple layers and a bit of messing around and all that. So this makes your life tons easier for mocking things up. No way, should we make some fake Converses? But yeah, let's see what we've got. So you could get people modeling your garms, you know, if you want an actual image of a real person. But for the sake of reselling and drop shipping and just for presenting your designs online, you're probably going to want to go to the flat style section. They've called it apparel flat lays. There's 37 different things in here for you to choose from. And this will allow you to create like studio quality mock-ups in just a few seconds. Literally just drag and drop. You can change the colors and then you can print this stuff using Kittl. It's a madness, guys. I do have an affiliate link. I've worked with Kittl for a while, but I would not endorse them if it's not something I genuinely use. I use this all the time. I use this for my customers. I use this for printing my own clothes. And I just use their services in general for like making Y2K logos. So that's why I'm very happy promoting them on this channel. Not gonna lie, I think that looks pretty fun. I'm gonna download that mock-up right there. And with this is essentially how you would drop ship things. You could use a bunch of your designs on different things like shorts, hoodies, t-shirts. You could put the mock-ups on eBay or Depop or other platforms, and then you wouldn't need to have any inventory. If somebody buys one of them, like you get a notification on your phone, like a pink hoodie with the Divine Corteiz logo in size small, you could go on Kittl and you could order it and it'll be at their house in like 4 days. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but I remember it being super quick. The last few orders that I've done, definitely under a week. So as long as you set up the shipping information so that people aren't expecting it like immediately, then you're going to be absolutely fine drop shipping using this method. You can see how the texture of the t-shirt literally overlays over the design. I think that's very, very cool. Actually looks bare professional in my humble opinion. Shout out to Shrek. Gotta do it on some shorts. That's what kind of got Corteiz popping off. Everyone in the trap that's got a bit of money to spend is definitely going to bed wearing these every night. No word of a smack. You could change the color of your design as well. If you go back to the editor, you could then use the image vectorizer tool and it will vectorize your image, simplifying it a bit. It's essentially a bit like the threshold, so it works so well with this effect. Maybe we want like a light bluington like that. See what that looks like. Let's mock it up on some things. Actually looks pretty clean. Me likey that, me likey that. You can mock up damn near anything, including a Happy Meal box. Why wouldn't you want to make your own Happy Meal box? Let's be honest. Who doesn't want Divine Chippies? Alright, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the time-lapse speed art process start to finish of me making this Divine logo inside of Photoshop. I'll cue that now. Make sure you drop a like if this video has helped you make a logo like Corteiz or understand the threshold tool. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and comment down below the size of your